Have you ever found yourself staring at a piece of bread, just wondering, hey, is this still good to eat? It's a tiny question, right? But it has some absolutely massive consequences. Today, we're going to dive into some incredible new research that uses AI to answer that exact question with stunning accuracy. And it could stop a staggering amount of food from ever being thrown away. So let's just start with the scale of this problem. That number you see? That's how much food goes to waste across the globe. Every single year. It's a number so big it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. It's literally a third of all the food we produce for people to eat. And this isn't just about the food itself. It's a massive, massive economic problem. The researchers behind this new technology really put a fine point on it. That waste is worth over $1 trillion. Gone. So you can see why we desperately need a smarter way to handle this.
Now, a huge chunk of that waste boils down to one simple thing: spoilage. But, the ways we check for it are surprisingly old school. We rely on a quick sniff test, maybe a best before date, but what if there was a way to know for sure, scientifically, when food is truly spoiled?
Okay, so to really get why this new tech is such a big deal, we've got to look at how we do things now. Let's talk about the old way of testing, which, as you'll see, has some serious problems.
So here's the heart of the issue. The traditional methods, they're destructive, meaning you have to literally destroy the food just to test it. They're also slow, they're expensive, and you need a whole lab setup. What we really need is the exact opposite of all that. Something that doesn't harm the food, that's fast, low cost, and portable enough to use right on a factory floor.
And that brings us to the hero of our story today. It's a brand new device, an ingenious solution from researchers that's basically a new kind of smart eye designed specifically to see food spoilage. Now, you might be picturing some incredibly complicated, super expensive machine, but the hardware here is surprisingly simple. We're talking a basic CMOS camera, like in a webcam, lit up by some simple white LEDs. And the whole thing is powered by a computer's USB port. The magic isn't in pricey parts, it's all in the intelligence behind it. And that is the key question, isn't it? If the hardware is so basic, how in the world does it manage to spot microscopic spoilage that's completely invisible to our own eyes? Well, the answer is a really clever two-part AI system.
Okay, this process is just brilliant. Let's break it down. First, the device just captures a picture and gets those simple red, green, and blue color values. But here, this second step, this is where the magic happens. A special AI takes just those 3 color values and predicts a full detailed light spectrum from them, creating hundreds of data points out of thin air. Finally, a second AI looks at that rich spectrum data and makes the call. Is it fresh or is it spoiled?
So that first AI brain is an artificial neural network, or ANN. The best way to think about it is as a pattern recognition machine. The researchers trained it by showing it thousands and thousands of color patches and the real full light spectrums that went with them. After a while, it got so good at recognizing the patterns that now it can generate a super accurate spectrum just from a new photo's RGB values. It's an absolutely incredible shortcut.
So, a great theory, but does it actually work when the rubber meets the road? To find out, the researchers set up the perfect test. They decided to sit back and watch bread go bad.
They took fresh slices of bread and just monitored them for 10 days. For the first few days, everything looks perfectly normal. But then around day 8, the first visible signs of trouble started to pop up, these faint little greenish spots. By day 10, yep, it was obviously spoiled. And the science? Well, it totally backs this up. This chart shows the microbial count, or CFU. On day 2, the count is pretty low. But just look at that jump by day 10. That explosive growth is the hard, scientific proof of spoilage. For the experiment, anything from day 8 onward was officially labeled spoiled.
So here's the crucial point. We know the bread went bad. That's a given. But could the AI system actually see that spoilage in its data, even on the days when the bread still looked perfectly fine to you and me? That's the real test of this technology.
So, the moment of truth. How did the AI actually do? The researchers took all that spectral data they'd collected and used it to train a few different machine learning models, basically teaching them to tell the difference between fresh and spoiled bread. They tested a couple of different AI models. Now, the training score is interesting, but what we really care about is that testing performance number. That tells us how well the AI did on data it had never ever seen before. And as you can see, while both did well, one was the clear winner in this real-world test, the SVM, or Support Vector Machine Model.
In the final score for our champion model, a whopping 95.84%. That F1 score, that's a measure of accuracy, and it is exceptionally high for telling fresh from spoiled, based only on that non-destructive light analysis. It's incredibly impressive.
Let's put that percentage into plain English, though. It means that out of 265 unique samples, the AI model got it right 254 times. It only made 11 mistakes. That is the kind of rock-solid reliability that can make a huge difference in the food industry.
So what does this all mean? I mean, a successful lab experiment is one thing, but the potential real-world impact of this technology is it's enormous.
Just think about the implications for a second. Having a cheap, fast, and accurate way to spot spoilage would be a total game changer. It could slash that global food waste number we talked about, make food safer for all of us, and lower costs for producers. Imagine these little devices monitoring food in real time, all along the supply chain. We're talking about a much, much smarter food system.
And don't just take my word for it. The researchers themselves are really optimistic. They see this technology being built right into automated quality control systems in factories, making food safety checks faster and more reliable than we've ever seen before.
And that leads to a really fascinating thought. Remember, the device itself was built with simple, everyday components. The real power is the AI. So what happens when that AI becomes even more accessible to all of us?
So here's the final idea I want to leave you with. Your phone, right now, already has an amazing camera and a powerful processor. Could a future version of this technology live right there in your pocket? Imagine just pointing your phone at that loaf of bread and having an app tell you with scientific certainty whether it's safe to eat. That's the future this research is pointing us towards.